I built my business into a 6-figure and now 7-figure on its way to multi-7-figure business from scratch. What about if I'm just getting started, if I'm brand new and I'm starting from scratch? Is that still possible for me? And if it is possible, how would I go about it? We're gonna get into it right now. Hey, CourtneyLSanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time online life and business coach as well as wife and mom. I wear all the hats and do all the things. And one thing that I'm really proud of is that I built my business into a 6-figure and now 7-figure on its way to multi-7-figure business from scratch. And I built my business into a 6-figure business the first year that I was in coaching, even though I was working my job full time. And so I know a lot of people think, well, yeah, that was back then. You know, you've been in the industry for a long time. You have an audience, you have a following. What about if I'm just getting started, if I'm brand new and I'm starting from scratch? Is that still possible for me? And if it is possible, how would I go about it? And so the quick answer is yes, it's still possible. It's definitely possible to build a 6-figure business from scratch. I've helped plenty of clients do it, and you could be one of them. And in fact, if you want to know how I would help you do it and how I would help myself if I was just getting started, you're in luck, because we're going to get into it right now. All right, the first thing that you need to do if you want to build a 6-figure online business from scratch is you need to make a list of all the things people ask you for advice about. Now, I say this because so often we think about, well, I'm really good at this and I have the skill set and I'm gonna build a business around XYZ topic. While you might be passionate about that topic and you might even have a skill set around it, if it's not something that people are really interested in, then it's probably gonna be something that you have difficulty actually charging for and making money from. And so one of the easiest ways I found to just cut through the noise is simply to make a list of all the questions that people actually ask you about, because if they're asking you about it, that's because they want help in that area. And there's a strong chance that of the people who are asking you, saying that they want help in this area, somebody is gonna be willing to put their money where their mouth is, right? And actually pay to get the same transformation that you have gotten. So a good litmus test is, yeah, there's all these things that I know, all these things that I'm good at, all these things that I'm passionate about, but what are the things that people ask me about all the time? What are the things that people marvel at? What are the things that people are like, man, I wish I could do XYZ that you've done? Whatever that is, you want to narrow down your niche in there. And so I'm gonna talk more about that as we get into these other steps. But to start, if I was building a 6-figure business from scratch, I would make a list of everything that people ask me for advice on. All right, the next thing that I would do once I have made a list of all the things that people have asked me for advice on is I would narrow my niche. So it's not just enough to say, oh, again, I'm really good at this thing, or even that people ask me about it, but you gotta get clear on what your niche is. And I'll give you a hint. Your niche is actually not just your target market. It's not just what you do. It's not even just your industry. In fact, I go into this in depth inside of my Nail Your Niche Challenge, and it's totally free. You can sign up for it by clicking the link below. It's a 5-day live challenge where I dive deep and I show you truly how to nail your niche and how to put all the components together. So I won't give it away on this video, but again, it's a free challenge. You can sign up for it by clicking the link below. But it's very important that you take all of these things that people are asking you about, right? Because those are the things that they have the highest likelihood of wanting to actually pay you for. And you want to zero in on, of this big list of things, there's a few specific ones that have the greatest chance of giving you the highest potential profit in return if you really focus on those arenas. So again, go ahead and sign up for the challenge if you want to know how to narrow your niche down, but it's very important that you do, and you want to narrow it down from that list. All right, the next thing that I would do if I had to start over from scratch, and the thing that I would help my clients do and that I am helping my clients do, is create consistent content on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Yes, I don't understand why people are so reluctant to create consistent content. One, it doesn't have to be nearly as difficult as you think it is. In fact, if you struggle with creating content consistently, I have quite a few videos, including this one, which tells you all about how I batch create my content and repurpose it so that I'm able to get the biggest bang for my buck by just simply, shooting a bit of content on one day. So if you want to learn my process for how I create so much content, you can definitely check out that video there. But once you have this content, I find that you want to put it on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, because those are the 3 platforms that will allow you to have the most growth right now. And it's kind of funny that I'm saying this because for a while I was a bit of an Instagram hater. Yes, I have a large following on Instagram, but for a while, my growth, I was still growing, but it had kind of stalled, and I just resigned and said, Instagram is not really a platform that's focused on growth anymore. That's more for TikTok. Instagram is just gonna be the place where I've nurtured my audience. But I found that if you create consistent content and you do it according to a particular strategy, and actually talk about that strategy here, you can learn all about my real strategy that has really helped me grow thousands of followers at a time. If you really focus on a particular strategy, there is a way where you can attract a lot of followers on Instagram in a short amount of time. So Instagram is back on my list as being a growth platform, but you have to use it in a very strategic way. YouTube is the same way. You probably noticed that I am publishing a lot of shorts right now in addition to my long form videos, because shorts are a great way for you to get in front of new audiences and for people to find out about you, subscribe to your channel, and then ultimately get on your email list and perhaps join the different programs and purchase the different things that you have to offer. And so again, Instagram, YouTube, and then TikTok. Now, I know I've been talking a lot about TikTok. I feel like I'm a low-key TikTok hater because it's not my preferred platform. I don't really enjoy consuming content there, but I know a lot of people really enjoy TikTok. And so my team, we are working to take a lot of the content that we're putting here on YouTube and Instagram and to get it out on TikTok. But if you don't have the hangups that I do and you're looking to grow fast, TikTok is a great way to grow, particularly in certain niches if your demographic is on TikTok. So you don't necessarily have to produce consistent content on all three platforms. You can pick the platform that works the best for you and the target audience that you are trying to reach. But out of all the platforms, Twitter, Facebook, all these different places that you could be, I find that Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok are going to give you the biggest bang for your buck in terms of creating content and actually growing an audience that ultimately is going to be interested in purchasing your programs. All right, I have more where that came from, but first I want to hear from you. Are you starting from scratch? Go ahead and share in the comments below. All right, the next thing that I would do if I were starting from scratch, and this is so simple, but it's so powerful, is I would invite people on Instagram and TikTok to DM me at the end of every post. And on YouTube, I would have a link to my calendar in the description, and I would invite people to book a call with me via that link. So essentially on every post, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok, I would invite people to essentially reach out to me because DMs are very easy, direct messages. I wouldn't even fiddle with landing pages and links. I would just say, hey, here's my post about XYZ. If you're interested in working with me to help achieve this thing, send me a DM. That's literally what I would say. On every post, I would have someone DM me. And because it's not quite the same on YouTube, you don't want to get a bunch of private messages on YouTube, I would say if you're interested in having me help you do this for you or work with you or whatever, click the link in the description box and it would be a link to get on my calendar to have a call. That's simple. And I say this because I know oftentimes we don't take action because we're like, oh, I need a funnel, I need landing pages, I need email marketing, should I sign up for MailChimp, ConvertKit? There's all this tech that we're like, what do I do next? You actually don't need all of that. If your content is good enough and you're on the right platforms and you are attracting your target market, again, if that content is strong enough, simply a call to action inviting people to reach out to you directly is gonna be enough, and it's gonna be a lot easier to close your first clients. All right, the next thing that I would do if I were trying to build a six-figure business from scratch is I would focus on selling one package per week. I find that many, beginning entrepreneurs or even entrepreneurs that have been in the game for a while, but they're trying to scale, the 6 and maybe even 7-figure business, they focus on all these different things where in the beginning, your focus needs to be on sales. And the reason why I would focus on one package per week is because if you can come up with a coaching program that's worth $2,500 or more, you only need to sell one a week in order to hit 10K. And 10K is kind of like the beginning level of really starting to hit some consistency and gain your stride in your business. I know for many of you, hearing 10K sounds like, oh my goodness, an extraordinary amount of money. But when you're in business, you don't get to keep all that money, right? You have expenses, you have assistants maybe that you want to pay, software, different tools. And so I find that hitting the 10K is enough for you to pay for taxes, for you to save some money for marketing, for you to maybe pay for a bit of support, and then still have some money left over in order to, support your lifestyle or help you quit your job or what have you. So if you focus on selling one program per week and you're selling that program at least a $2,500 level, it makes it that much easier to hit your 10K. So this is what I would be focused on. Until I could do this consistently, I would not focus on anything else. Focus on selling one program package per week. All right, the next thing that I would do is I would collect the testimonials that I should be gaining at this point now that I'm working with clients, one a week, right? That I am enrolling in my programs. I would take those testimonials. I would also think about, what worked well in terms of the one-on-one coaching that I'm doing. And I would formulate that into a group program or some sort of course. And I would use the testimonials from the people who have already worked with me in order to sell that program. So I get a lot of questions around, do I have to start with one-on-one? Can I start with a group coaching program? Really, the choice is yours. There is no hard, fast rule, but I found that it's often helpful, especially for beginners, to start with one-on-one because you learn a lot about your clients and you learn about you learn a lot about the process that it takes to help them get that transformation, and you have more clarity around what you need to package into a group program or a course. And you also have testimonials because, you know, you're working with people directly. It's very easy in that kind of one-on-one interaction in order to help them get across the finish line and to help them get a result. So I would go ahead and then use those testimonials in order to sell my next group or course program. All right, I hope this was helpful for you. If you're like, all of this sounds good, but again, how am I gonna close that one client per week and where do I get all this from? I actually have a free webinar called my Client Attraction Masterclass, which walks you through the process that I use to this day in order to attract clients and to enroll them in my program. So if you want to know not just what I've done, but what I'm currently doing and what is working for my clients and coaches right now, go ahead and click the link below in order to sign up for that masterclass. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. If you loved it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you can't wait for my next video, make sure you're subscribed to my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show, on both iTunes and Spotify. And if you can't wait for my next podcast episode or my next YouTube video, make sure that you are following me on Instagram. It's CourtneyLSanders. I only have one account and I'm verified, so if there's not a check by my name, then that is not my account. Don't follow any spammers, but follow CourtneyLSanders on Instagram to get the behind the scenes of my life and even more great tips like this. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.